Hello there. This is Sherry Simpson coming to you live from Armstrong, British Columbia. I am attempting to do a video recording on the computer at the same time that I'm doing a live in my Facebook group. So I usually don't do it this way. So hopefully this works out. I pulled 5 cards for us today because it is the 3rd month and the 2nd day. So if you've picked all of the cards or just one of the cards, then I'm going to bring you the guidance for all of those things right now. And let's see what just happened. We just had a full moon, which was the 1st of March, but there's going to be 2 of them in March, as there was 2 of them in January and none in February. So 2 in January meant that the second one was a super moon. The second one in March also means that the second one is a super moon, and that will be on March 31st. So having a month where there is 2 full moons is a lot of energy. So if you are like me, and the moon is sort of guides you in some ways, then you may have been feeling like you haven't been getting enough sleep recently. So that's pretty normal. And right now, all of the planets are direct. They begin their retrograde. I believe Jupiter's retrograde this month, and Mercury goes retrograde this month. I think Jupiter starts on the 8th, and Mercury goes retrograde, I don't think, until like the 20th or the 22nd. So once that happens, there will be at least one planet retrograde from now until the end of the year. So from now until the 8th is a really good time for you to maintain things, to pull out that hard drive and to back things up, to buy your electronics and to do any kind of maintenance and anything like that that you have been feeling you should do, because when things start to go retrograde, we start to get stuck into the past. We start doing a lot of healing. Things can slow down. With Mercury being retrograde, there's issues with travel plans and communication and technology. So, and contracts, people often don't like to sign contracts while Mercury is retrograde, and that's simply because when you do a contract signing while Mercury is in retrograde, then there's a possibility that it will change, and some people really like that and want to sign one during that time, and some people don't like that at all because they assume that a contract is a contract is a contract. So heed that information. Know that we will be healing the past more starting from March 8th. So today I pulled 5 cards. I'm a transformational life coach, and I do work in the Akashic Records, which is something else I wanted to mention. One of the things about myself and why I have been feeling so tired, which I don't connect in, and I'm assuming someone else needs to hear this information. So when you work with other people a lot, we have a tendency to give and give and give and to do a lot of things for other people, but we don't necessarily have that same need to give to ourselves and to receive. And so what I normally do in the Akashic Record is do clearings for other people, and for myself I do a lot of release, but I don't necessarily go in and see what is coming up for myself the same way that I do for my clients. So I realized today, from someone else's nudging this week, thank you so much for my friend who recommended that I check, is that I had a bunch of compassionate connections that were in my Akashic Record that were stealing my energy. So what happens when we have things like compassionate connections is that we have a tendency to want to give other people our energy and our love and our helping hands, but sometimes we can do that in a way that is enabling them and preventing them from actually moving ahead. And I had over 30 of those. And so when you have a lot of those open, it's almost like cords where you're feeding other people energy. And so they're attracting and pulling energy from you rather than pulling it from their own divine source. And because I didn't realize that, I was actually draining my energy, which is part of the reason I haven't been sleeping that well, because I've been tired. So I just cut some of those cords and released some stuff on my own record today. So I expect after tonight I'll get a much better sleep. So if you have been avoiding doing the work you do for you, or if you've been giving to everyone else, make sure you allow yourself to receive, and make sure you give your own self the love and kindness and self-care that you need, pertaining to your work, pertaining to everything that you do in all of your relationships, because that's important. So moving into the cards, there's 5 cards that I pulled. So if you chose card number 1 today, then that card is all about card number 1. So card number 1 is about manifestation. It's about independence. It's about really quick, speedy manifestation. So I get the sense that many people right now, especially before we get that March 8th period where everything is going to slow down and go into retrograde, and Jupiter is going to be in retrograde in Scorpio at that time. It's a really good time to manifest. So between now at the full moon where we did the celebration and the next full moon, which happens on March 31st, you're going to notice a lot of manifestations happening, a lot of being able to create, which means 2 things. It means congratulations, because you're manifesting things really quickly, and manifestation simply means the ability to create things in the physical, tangible, in 3D. So if you have the ability to think things, but not the ability to actually like create them. So if you think, oh, I need a pen, but then you can't find a pen, then you don't have the ability, or you don't currently have the ability to manifest a pen into the physical. So you're not actually experiencing the physical manifestation of something. But if you think, oh, I need a pen, there should be a pen right here, and boom, a pen is there, then you know that you were able to physically manifest that. And I don't mean that you just like created it out of thin air, but you were able to find one, which is the same as manifestation. It's the ability to call stuff in a tangible way. So if number 1 is your card, then you are a magical manifester right now. Make sure you are manifesting the things that you want. So you're talking about what you want. Hi, Perlini, good to see you, hon. You're talking about all of the things that you want, because if you picked the number 1 card, you are very much manifesting everything that you think about, everything that you're emotionally connected to, everything that you're desiring or not desiring right now. So number 1 is all about manifestation. It's about bringing things into the physical. So if that was your card, then you are a magician right now. So be careful that you're thinking and acting and feeling all of the positive things and the abundant things and the desirable things that you want right now, because that is what is happening. You are manifesting very quickly, regardless of whether it's stuff that you're doing on purpose or not on purpose. So manifestation was card number 1. Card number 2 was simply love. So this is a number 6, and what I usually see when I see a 6 is that we've had this whole time period of transformation where a lot of stuff has changed, a lot of stuff has been like off our rocker, and so when we get to the 6, it actually means like nourishment. It means nurturing. It means finding a balance after all of the transformation has happened. So I get the sense that it is time for that nourishment. It is time for that that natural way of finding balance to happen. And if you step into that place in your heart of love, and this is literally a gentleman who I see as a father figure, presenting love to a child, and this could be inner child if you have been doing inner child work, or it could be giving down that love into generations ahead of you. And sometimes when I see this card, I think of the kid, and I think of the father actually giving something to the child that the child is a little bit scared of, because the child in this, I'm going to show it here as well, and the child in this picture is almost a little bit off and starstruck. But this actually makes me think Akashic Records, because the young child is holding a book. So if you're inspired to work on your childhood, or you're inspired to work on your past, then allow yourself to do that in any way that fits you. But I see simply love as calling in love, in not just love from a partner and not love from yourself, but also love from source and love from children and love from pets. So allowing love to nurture you, allowing nature to nurture you, because there's so much green in this card. And I get the sense that, like, I'm hearing like all there is love. I'm hearing the song We Are the Children for some reason, so I get the sense that children may be important if you actually pulled this card. So that was the number 2 card, and I'm getting the sense of the sun in this card as well. So almost like there was a lot of change and there was a lot of transformation, and there may have been a lot of strife at some point, and now the sun is coming out and you're realizing the love that exists if maybe you didn't see it or feel it before. The hair on my arms is standing up, so maybe some of you are having that realization that you can step into love rather than being separate from it. The number 3 card, if you picked number 3 today, was dedicated effort. And this is a number 8. So dedicated effort in a number 8. And for me, 8 is about personal power. It's about confidence. It's about strength. It's about recognition and abundance, and feeling deserving of recognition and feeling deserving of abundance, and allowing a sense of service to happen, that when you feel deserving of abundance and when you feel deserving of recognition and when you feel deserving of acceptance of those things, that you have more of the same to give. And so that's an interesting thing, because the 8 is the infinity sign on its side. And I get the sense with that once you realize you are deserving of abundance, you are deserving of health, you are deserving of recognition and acceptance and wealth and all of these things, that you get filled up because you know that you're deserving of it. And once you know that you're deserving of it, it's easier for you to share that out. And so then you're actually dedicating your efforts to yourself and to other people, which is how I see this. So this is an artist. I'm showing this in 2 different screens because I'm doing a different video on the YouTube channel here than I am live. So forgive me for jumping back and forth a little bit. But the 8 in this picture, I get the sense that this artist in this picture is dedicating time and energy and love into creating this masterpiece. And I get the sense that this person has actually learned that doing this out of a sense of love and creation and self-expression for self is benefiting everyone else as well. So this person has actually realized that when they are accepting and deserving of love and abundance and recognition and love and all of those things, that their dedicated effort is of greater service to those beyond. So this is information. This is the 3rd card that I pulled today out of the 5 that I pulled. So just as a revamp, in case you're just popping in, the 1st card that I pulled was manifestation. So you are a magician right now, if this is the card that you pulled. So being careful and cognizant and deliberate with what it is that you're thinking and feeling, because whatever it is that you're thinking and feeling, regardless of whether it's happy or sad or good or bad or however you see it, you're going to manifest it quickly. The second one that I pulled, if you chose number 2, was the 6 card. And the 6 card for me is about having gone through some kind of transformation with the 5, and now coming to the realization that that love is more important, that love is all there is. That the sun is finally coming out, and there's this realization that this loving, nurturing has to happen or is happening. And so that's what the 2nd card, which is the number 6, was for me. The 3rd card, if you chose that today, was dedicated effort. So the 8th life path and the number 8 is about empowerment and recognition and acceptance and deservingness and serving others. But you need to realize all of those things, the deservingness and the acceptance and the realization from a place of I deserve it myself. And so this artist is actually doing all of these things because the dedicated effort is like, I love to paint and I love to share and I love to empower others to see the beauty that I see within me. And so this person is actually doing this out of their own kindness and out of their own heart, but it's for a greater service. And so they're they're coming to that realization that everything is connected, that empowering self is about empowering others, and expressing your own self-expression and creativity is then serving other people and allowing and inspiring other people as well. So that's a magical thing when you actually connect into everything is connected. So the third card I pulled was also an 8. So some of that information about card 3 is also relevant for card 4. But this one is about control. And I get a weird digestive feeling about this, that maybe some people have been controlling themselves and controlling others in sort of a weird way that hasn't been serving. And I get the sense that this person has now decided to go within and determine, is controlling myself, is controlling my thoughts, is controlling my beliefs, is controlling my emotions really serving me? Because once I determine what it is that is serving me, then I can actually serve the rest of the planet from this place of greatness, from this place of self-expression, from this place of we're all connected, from this place of empowering others to actually release that control if you haven't been controlling, and allow yourself to feel and connect that empowerment and share it in a much bigger and greater way. So this particular card, if you picked number 4, I get the sense that connecting into the third eye is important, because this woman is standing with her armor right in between her third eye, almost as though she's been trying to control what it is that comes through. And usually from that sense or perspective of intuition and inner guidance, and pulling information from like past lives and inner knowing and inner guidance is not really about control. As soon as you decide to control what comes through, it's almost like you block your own clarity, because then you're not trusting your gut anymore. So I get the sense that releasing that control on that is actually going to connect into creativity, which is that orange color, as well as connecting into that empowerment and personal power and the connectedness between all that is self and all that is, and serving others in a greater way, which brings me back to that 8 and that infinite sign. I also get the sense that this woman has a very large thing over her heart. And usually when I see the number 8, I actually see the connectedness of all that is coming down through the heart center, and then allowing it to manifest into the physical and then come back up. So this ties me back into love too, because I usually see the 8 as being connected at the heart center. And I almost get the sense that the woman in this card is attempting to control too many things about what is going on in her life and what has been going on in the past. And she's really looking down. She's looking down as though she's finally sort of realizing that the controlling is not serving her, and almost like this thing behind her, this radiance behind her, is about opening up to allowing the control to actually come through from the inner guidance, from source, from a connection. And I actually really love that this woman is wearing a cape that is feathers, because it makes me think that once you release that sense of controlling where stuff comes from, that you actually can fly. So it's like you suddenly have wings. You suddenly have this cape that allows you to bring yourself to this new place of creativity, to this new place of abundance, to this new place of connecting the inner knowing and the empowerment and the confidence all together. And then it's as though you see with a different kind of wisdom. It's like you see from a place of the red is about manifestation, and it's about bringing things. Funny how they all tie together, right? About bringing things from a place of love and connectedness into manifestation, but also knowing that you can fly once you release the control. So the control is almost like a tether to me, that trying to control everything is like is like holding on to a dog that wants to really run all over the place, and the dog ends up controlling you. So once you release that and allow it to be easy and allow it to be connected to all that is, and connected to a place of creativity and inner knowing and gut feelings, that it's almost like the eyes are open. And I love that the eyes are blue too, because that makes me think water, it makes me think depth, it makes me think deeper. So that makes me think a deeper connection to all that is and inner self once you release that sense of control. So this was card 4 in the numbers that I picked today. And the last one I picked up today was the fifth place card. And this one is, I'll show it here. It is also a number 1 card, which is very interesting because number 1 and number 5 were both 1, but this one's in reverse. So love abounds, which sort of ties me into control. If you're actually trying to control things, then it's as though manifestations slow down because you're actually like preventing or resisting things. And so if you have a tendency to see things upside down, to try to control, to manifest things in a way that sort of like is what you expect but not what you allow, then love can't abound. Then love can't create and surround, because you're actually trying to control it. It's like this card is trying to say that when you are seeing love as conditional, that it cannot be as abundant as when you see it as unconditional. And so that ties me in to a sense of codependency. So if you have certain relationships where you're expecting friends or loved ones or dogs or kids to act in a certain way, to be a certain way for you in order to be comfortable, then love will not abound. Then you're actually manifesting things in that lightning fast way that are about control, that are about things having to be a certain way. And again, it's very interesting how all 5 of the cards tend to tie in together. So this makes me think, allow love to be what it is, allow people to be who they are, allow a sense of compassion and truth and trust, releasing any judgment, and being an observer. So not always are things happy, and not always are things perfect, and not always are things feeling loving and kind. And I think that's okay, but love is always there regardless of how things are or things seem. And I think if we release the judgment and release the codependency and release the control, then we can actually see that there is love behind, or love within, or love through whatever. This is making the hair on my arm stand up, so somebody needs to hear this. That once we release all that, we can see that experience is really, there's love in it, there's love under it, there's love through it. And so if we release the sense of having to control things, and we really step into a place of it's meant for the highest and greatest good, and we're going to manifest what we think about. So if we manifest a control or a codependency, or having to be conditional on our loving ways, then we're going to manifest people doing the same thing to us. We're going to manifest, and this one is that lightning fast. We're going to manifest that same thing. So seeing other people as mirrors is coming out really big for me for this. And the whole sense of heart-centeredness here is coming out for me, that the sun is going to shine, and the sun is going to come out, and that we need to step into a place of empowering ourselves and allowing ourselves and observing love in ways that maybe we haven't normally. Hi, Audrey. how we normally haven't seen or felt or experienced love because we have been trying to control it, because things have been really like transformational, and now we're at that place where we're understanding that it's simply love. Now we're at that place where we're ready to just express ourselves in a very this is good for me, so it's going to be for the greatest good of all, because I'm expressing my own kindness, I'm expressing my own love, I'm expressing my own gifts and my own talents. And then coming into that place of we're going to manifest things really quickly regardless of how we're thinking about them or feeling. So if you've been manifesting a lot of things that don't feel lovable, then allow yourself to observe how that has been expressed in all your relationships with yourself, with other people, with kids, with pets, with nature, with your source and your inner connection, and see it from a perspective of love. Observe it from a perspective of love, and see if you can step into a new place in order to manifest what it is you want rather than what you don't. I hope that was helpful. So the number 1 card today was manifestation. The number 2 card today was Simply Love, which has a number 6 on it for the numerology. The number 3 card today was Dedicated Effort. The number 4 card today was Control, releasing that if you have been controlling. And the number 5 card today was Love Abounds, but it was in reverse. So I'm going to close that off on the YouTube, and I will come back to the Facebook Live here. So if anyone on YouTube has any comments or questions or wants to share up, subscribe, that's amazing. Let me know how you found this, and have a beautiful